Landmark deal on Iran's nuclear program. Locally, chaotic scenes at district forum attended by the CE. And an appeal for calm over recent pneumococcal infections.
Good evening. Iran and the West have reached a major deal over Tehran's nuclear program, an agreement which could see better relations after years of tensions and hostility. Nuclear activity will be suspended for 6 months in exchange for some relief from sanctions, which have crippled Iran's economy. And diplomats say will give both sides time to work out a more comprehensive agreement. After years of false dawns, finally an agreement of substance which could herald a new era between Iran and the West. Today, Iran struck an historic nuclear deal in Geneva with the United States and 5 other world powers. In a nutshell, it's designed to stop Tehran from developing an atomic bomb while meeting its energy needs.
There are lots of things along the way where you really have to work out the kind of detail that will ensure that you not only agree, but you're clear about what it is you're trying to do, how you're going to implement it, and what the issues are that you're addressing. And to do that in language and in ways that show the commitment of both sides.
China, Russia, France, Germany and Britain all played their part, but the deal is mainly about Washington and Tehran reaching an understanding after decades of hostility between them. It commits Iran to curb its nuclear activities for 6 months in exchange for limited and gradual sanctions relief, including access to $4.2 billion from oil sales. The period will give diplomats time to negotiate a more sweeping agreement. US President Barack Obama explains some of the details.
Iran has committed to halting certain levels of enrichment and neutralizing part of its stockpiles. Iran cannot use its next-generation centrifuges, which are used for enriching uranium. Iran cannot install or start up new centrifuges, and its production of centrifuges will be limited. Iran will halt work at its plutonium reactor, and new inspections will provide extensive access to Iran's nuclear facilities. On our side, the United States and our friends and allies have agreed to provide Iran with modest relief while continuing to apply our toughest sanctions. We will refrain from imposing new sanctions, and we will allow the Iranian government access to a portion of the revenue that they have been denied through sanctions.
Obama's Iranian counterpart Hassan Rouhani said the deal recognizes Tehran's rights to maintain an atomic program, and it gives his country a break after years of crippling sanctions.
I believe it is important that we all of us see the opportunity to end an unnecessary crisis and open new horizons based on respect for the rights of Iranian people and removal of any doubts about the exclusively peaceful nature of Iran's nuclear program.
Unsurprisingly, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu denounced it as an historic mistake, to which Israel would not be bound. The agreement caps a remarkable turnaround for Iran, ever since Rouhani was elected president this year. His presidency seems to have moderated Tehran's outlook, while giving fresh incentive to the West to reach out to Iran. It's arguable this change in tone enabled September's historic phone call between Obama and Rouhani, which became a further catalyst for change, leading to today's deal.
And here in Hong Kong, rival groups of protesters were out in force as Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying attended a forum in Sha Tin as part of his public consultation for the upcoming policy address and budget. At the forum, Leung called on those who support the government to make their voices heard. Stephanie Choi reports.
Boos and cheers as the chief executive and a number of top officials tried to get themselves ready for the forum. Two members of the League of Social Democrats, legislator Leung Kwok Hong and Raphael Wong, were among the first expelled for disrupting the event. Outside, rival protesters were locked in a shouting match, with some calling on Lun Changying to resign while others voiced their support for him. At one point, members of the student group Scholarism broke away from the designated protest area. The group had intended to hand over a petition to the chief executive demanding universal suffrage, but no one accepted the request. 3 members of Scholarism received medical attention at the scene, while other protesters were removed by the police.
As you can see here behind me, People Power is collecting shoes from those who are against the chief executive. The party says they're going to hurl these shoes at Lun Changying at a later date.
Those at the forum voiced various concerns. One asked the government to give out money to everyone so poor families may benefit. But the chief executive said the money should go to those who really need it, such as the elderly. Another participant accused Lung of failing to improve governance. The CE replied that strong governance would require the support of the people of Hong Kong, but added that pro-government voices are seldom heard. The second and third forums will take place on Hong Kong Island and Kowloon on the 7th and 8th of next month. Stephanie Choi, TVB News.
Well, Hong Kong is still trying to make sense of the comments made by the head of the Basic Law Committee during his recent visit. Chief Secretary for Administration Carrie Lam said today Li Fei's trip helped the government understand better the arrangements for the 2017 chief executive election. Rani Samtani has more.
Basic Law Committee Chairman Li Fei met with various government officials during his 3-day visit earlier. Chief Secretary for Administration Carrie Lam said Li gave government officials a better understanding of the Basic Law's provisions for electing a chief executive through universal suffrage. During the upcoming public consultation on political reform, Lam said the government will explain the relevant Basic Law provisions. She added that it will not focus on individual proposals because the nomination process is only one of the issues that needs to be discussed, and she doesn't want to see an opposing attitude in the society even before the consultation begins. Speaking to the press yesterday, Li emphasized that under the Basic Law, only the nominating committee can nominate CE candidates. Li has also said it's a legal requirement for candidates to love the country, love Hong Kong, and not oppose the central government. LegCo President Zhang Yuk-sing said Li only reiterated the requirements under the existing framework.
He, of course, mentioned once again the provisions in the Basic Law, in Article 45 of the Basic Law, and qualifications for becoming the chief executive as provided for in Article 44. These provisions have always been there, so I don't think Mr. Li has added anything at all to the conditions for forming the nomination committee, how the nomination committee is going to work, and what kind of people can be the candidates.
Zhang said that the nominating committee should be able to balance the public's views. While he agreed that candidates who are against China should not be chief executive, he explained that having different views and opinions doesn't mean that you oppose the Chinese government. Rani Samtani, TVB News.
The Centre for Health Protection has further advanced a meeting on public vaccination scheme from early next month to tomorrow. It comes with a call for calm as some parents panic over the news that 2 children have died from recent pneumococcal infections. It's the serotype 3 pneumococcal pathogen that's taken the lives of the 2 kids. It can only be suppressed by the new pneumococcal conjugate vaccine 13 or PCV13. And now worried parents are scrambling to get their kids vaccinated. This parent said she's asked everywhere, but there's no stock to be found, not even at this private hospital. The government began offering PCV13 jabs to children for free last year. There's about 34,000 children in the city who have not yet been vaccinated. The Centre for Health Protection has again pushed forward an expert meeting, which was scheduled for early December to tomorrow. It will decide whether to offer all children who have not had their PCV13 shots the vaccination.
It doesn't cost much. In terms of of our ability to shoulder on the cost, it will be paramount for the government make the decision within this week and to negotiate with the pharmaceutical company so that arrangement can be made within a week.
Suppliers have promised to try and increase the production of the vaccines and may take some quota from other areas. As for the view that kids who had their PCV 7 and 10 jabs are at higher risk of being infected with a more powerful pathogen, the centre says a consensus has not formed on this point yet. A 6-month-old baby girl is suspected to have been kidnapped in Kowloon City last night, and the police are looking for a woman who may be related to the case. Officers continued searching through Kowloon City this afternoon, looking for clues. According to the police, the baby's mother was pushing her pram near Carpenter Road Park towards Kowloon City Plaza around 7 o'clock last night when a woman asked her for directions. It's believed the woman spoke with a mainland accent. The mother said she recalled someone else passing by during their conversation and only noticed her baby girl was missing afterwards. The police are appealing for anyone who has information about the case to call 61480919 or 61480920.
And still to come in the news tonight. New global agreement to fight climate change. Diplomatic spat between Egypt and Turkey. And Manny Pacquiao returns to winning ways in Macau.